Namo Amida Butsu. Compassion versus cognitive dissonance. I was watching a person by the name of Chip do a straight video. I think it was in Amsterdam. He did a live stream where he did a social experiment by asking people how they felt about murder or murdering animals. And most of the people went up to him saying they loved animals, but they'd be more than happy to kill an animal and eat it for food. And of course the usual arguments, it tastes great, meat tastes great, you need meat. And meanwhile, in the chat comments, there were some idiot trolls making comments just to fuck with all the vegans in the comment section. The thing that creates cognitive dissonance when it comes to factory farming and the torture, rape, abuse, and murder of animals is a lack of compassion. It is a total lack of compassion. There are myriad excuses to make for not going vegan. I've heard them all. You know, I'm not a lion, I'm not a wolf, I'm not a bear, I'm not a wolverine. I don't have canines, I have just teeth. I mean, you know, you look at a dog's mouth, you look at the teeth on a dog or a cat or a lion or a bear. I mean, you got canines, okay? These are not designed to rip flesh from a carcass. They're not designed to break through the fur and thick outer covering of skin of an animal carcass. I could not take down a gazelle by biting it in the neck and tearing out its jugular vein. I could forest through trees, through bushes, for berries, for nuts. I can make tools to dig roots, tubers. I can collect beans and legumes. There is no excuse in this day and age not to be vegan. There just isn't. Now, I have a few friends who are meat eaters. I say meat eaters, more correctly, they're omnivores. Meat is a part of their diet. I don't follow them around and nag them and threaten them because that's not my place. I'm here to share what I know. It's like with my faith in Amitabha Buddha. I live my life for Amitabha Buddha. And even though I have shirts that say vegan for the animals, and I am vegan for the animals, but ultimately I am vegan because of Amitabha Buddha. Out of love and respect for him, emulating the compassion he has shown me to the best of my ability as an unenlightened being. I try to show compassion to all beings in this Saha realm of Mapo, in this Saha realm in the Dharma ending age of Mapo. See, I'm not enlightened. I screw up words and stuff. But it's you don't have to be enlightened or on a higher level or rich to be a vegan. And I've heard that excuse. Well, you need a lot of money because most vegan food is expensive. Bullshit. I wouldn't be vegan if that were the case. I wouldn't be able to afford it. I'm not a rich man. It's not hard to go into Kroger grocery store and find discounts on garbanzo beans, tofu, tempeh. I mean, I went to H-E-B the other day and they had a bunch of vegan meats, cheeses. You know, I got me some Chipotle sausage and vegan cheese, Daya brand vegan cheese with oat cream, which I highly recommend. No, this is not a sponsor. But, you know, it's like anything else in life. You figure out what your income bracket is. You figure out how much money to allot yourself for food, and you spend accordingly to your needs, your financial ability to buy food, to buy groceries. It's not hard. People have been eating vegan for thousands of years. You know, rice, beans, legumes, whole grains, noodles, peanut butter, crackers. I mean, I eat rich, flavorful food. This morning I had a delicious vegan Chipotle sausage on tortillas with vegan cheese, jalapenos, and onions. Very flavorful, very healthy. And I have plenty of money left to pay rent, pay my internet bill, pay my phone bill. You can always find some BS excuse to not go vegan. And I'm sorry guys, but the bottom line is the prime excuse for not going vegan is selfishness, laziness, and maybe fear of the unknown, fear of trying something different. But also the press, in league with the Meat, Egg, and Dairy Association, they do a good job of putting the fear of veganism in other people through propaganda. And I talk about this in another video. It really chaps my ass that the legacy media, out of sheer greed, will back false propaganda, not only politically, but in areas of things like veganism. They will pick some kook who drinks their urine and eats rotten melons on the ground, who ends up getting sick and dying of malnutrition, and say, oh yeah, parents, be very careful if your child says they want to go on a vegan diet. People can die from a vegan diet. A plant-based diet can be anything. Like Ryan with Healthy Happy Vegan said on a live stream yesterday, you know, you can choose to have a whole foods, healthy diet, or you can go extreme raw veganism, eat on fruitarian, or you could live off of Oreos and beer. Technically, they're all plant-based vegan diets. It's up to you to use common sense. And if you're watching this, you have an online presence. You are connected to the internet. And there is no excuse for not knowing about veganism. All you have to do is type in the Vegan Society or Vegan Society. Boom, you've got the definition of veganism, and you are immediately able to connect to a number of groups that tell you how to maintain a healthy vegan diet. There are YouTube channels like Cheap Lazy Vegan, and like the name implies, she teaches people how to make cheap, lazy vegan meals. It's not hard. And I don't always eat healthy as a vegan. I mean, I can down a bag of potato chips in a matter of seconds. I mean, you know, I didn't get this belly from eating some kind of weird starvation diet that makes me malnourished. I eat well. Lately on my vacation it's been a little too damn well, but that, hey, it happens. My point is, you have no excuse for not going vegan in this day and age. Now, and people use these ridiculous scenarios. What if I'm in the middle of the desert and there's nothing but a squirrel for me to eat? And it's like, come on, man. Are you in the middle of a desert with only a squirrel to eat? Cut the bullshit. I mean, excuse my language. I'm a religious man, a devout Buddhist, and I'm cussing like a sailor because it's like this cognitive dissonance where you totally anesthetize your mind and make it oblivious to the fact that these animals that you eat, these steaks that you buy wrapped in plastic, are the corpses of tortured animals enslaved from birth for the purpose of having their bodies culled and used for food, clothing, gelatin. I mean, this involves the suffering and torture and abuse of innocent beings in a hellish environment. I know when I hear the terms free range and organically grown, organically raised, it means nothing. It's bullshit. It's a smokescreen. Any way you cut it, these animals are tortured. And let's say they're raised out on the farm in the open plain, blithely munching on grass and pecking for seed in the dirt and scratching for worms. In the end, they're going to be killed. They're going to have their throats cut. They're going to have their heads cut off. They're going to have their necks wrung. And their flesh will be cut from their bones. Their organs will be torn out of their body cavity. And a species of beings, humans, who think of themselves as the most intellectually advanced, superior species, and that's where a lot of this justification for killing animals comes from. We're superior. We'll do whatever the fuck we want. Well, that's cognitive dissonance. It's a lack of compassion. It's selfishness and laziness to an intolerable level. We who think we are so sophisticated have chosen to be worse than the animals that are predators, that rip animals apart and bite their necks and kill them. And at least they hunt their own damn food. We go to a grocery store and throw a bunch of animal parts in our shopping cart. And we don't say, oh, this is dead leg of cow. This is inside thigh of pig. This is the corpse, beheaded corpse of a chicken. No, we give it specified names. Pork, chicken, roast chicken, steak, ribeye. To divert our consciousness from what takes place in putting this on your table, putting this in your pan. It's murder. Clear and simple. It wouldn't matter if these animals, and that's another argument, bullshit argument I hear, is as long as they're humanely raised. Well, if somebody raises you humanely and then decides one day to cut your throat so you bleed to death, well, what does that amount to? You know, the police report and the reporters reporting on the murder will not say, oh, but David was humanely raised. So, you know, this justifies his killer cutting his throat. There is no justification for murder other than self-defense. If somebody comes at me or someone I love with a gun or knife, I have the right to defend myself. Just like if a bed bug or a mosquito or a wasp decides to try to sting me or suck my blood or endanger my health through contamination by penetrating my flesh, I have a right to defend myself. I know what it means to be a vegan. So don't practice cognitive dissonance. Choose empathy. Choose compassion. Choose the path of positive karma through love. You don't have to do it perfectly because we're not enlightened. We can't do it perfectly. Nothing's perfect in this Saha realm. Not us, not the animals, not the realm itself. It's all a manifestation of our collective consciousness and experience. And choosing to support the torture and slavery of other sentient beings is choosing a consciousness that is filled with bad karma. I see good karma as best as I can. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.